guys, Nick here helping you to master your technology, and I've been meaning to do the A70 for a while now. It's been out for quite some time, but I did the A50, then the OnePlus 7 Pro came, so here we are with a full tour of the A70, and you can see that black just really has a nice shine in it. It's a very unique looking color. They're kind of like metallic inside of it, so even though it's plastic, it does look pretty. So this phone is one of the most popular devices in its category this year, the Galaxy A70 being that mid-ranger, like a little bit below like a OnePlus style device, a little bit cheaper than that, but also giving you some pretty compelling specs. I mean, we have a triple camera on here, 32 megapixel. We have 6 or 8 gigabytes of RAM, a Snapdragon 675, a 4500 milliamp hour battery on this thing, headphone jack. I mean, this phone is packing some quite impressive specs for the money. So let's talk a little bit more about it. Okay guys, so let's discuss the design, the build, and the weight of this phone. Now, first of all, you'll notice that front screen is just beautiful. It's a 6.7 inch Infinity U Super AMOLED display here for the Galaxy A70. You can see how big my hand is here, and it pretty much dominates my hand right there. So this is a large phone right here, but it's very, light, so you can probably handle it even if you got small hands because of the weight of this phone. Just a very light phone, but still very tall and very large at 6.7 inches, but that might be intriguing for many. Also, you can see that beautiful back plastic cover, definitely a nice finish here. If you're gonna go plastic, at least make it pretty, and I think Samsung has done a good job here with this black color specifically. Now, you can see it does get fingerprints all over the back though, so you will be wiping this down unless you use the included case that came with this phone right here. It's like a smoke gray color. It might be a clearer case if you get a different color of the A70, but really it's packing a lot. Now you can see here's a triple camera on the rear, 32 megapixel, could do 4K video. And this phone has a 4500 milliamp hour battery packed inside. Also, you can get this with 6 or 8 gigabytes of RAM, so lots of specification going on here for the price. Now you can see volume markers right there. We do have our home button up here, up at the top. There's just a little microphone hole right there. And on the left side, you can see that we do have ourselves a SIM card tray. We'll get to that in a minute. Under display fingerprint sensor is on board as well. And then down at the bottom, you can see we do have ourselves a headphone jack, which is a technology that's coming back in certain phones like the Moto Z4, for example, USB-C, and speaker right here. And that's about it with the Galaxy A70. I think for the money, for this being like less than 500 bucks, this is a really nice feeling and looking phone. It kind of makes you think, do I even need a flagship? Now, the resolution of this display is actually quite high. We do have 2400 by 1080 pixels here, so I think it's pretty good. It's not quite as pixel dense as something like a Note series or a Galaxy S10 series device. It's not flagship phone, so don't expect that, but the colors are still there, so I don't think most people are gonna have an issue with this panel. So if we go to settings here, display, you can change it between vivid and natural modes here if you don't like an oversaturated look. I kind of like the saturated look here for the A70 with that beautiful wallpaper that is included. Now you do have an obtrusion up there, so if you are going to be watching a Nick Ackerman video, for example, so you're gonna see there is a cutout right there. So some content might get chopped off a little bit in video, but very small, so I don't think it's gonna bother a lot of people. And in a lot of applications, it really doesn't get in the way. And if it does, you can just go ahead and bring it down a little bit like that. So overall, this is a very large screen and looks very good. I think many of you will enjoy it. And it gives you plenty of space to do things like pop view because the screen is so large, so we can move things around and just have plenty of space to do what we want to do on the Samsung Galaxy A70. Now, another nice thing about the Galaxy A70 is the biometrics. So under display fingerprint sensor works very similar to the one on the Galaxy S10. Now, if you don't get it in the right place, you'll miss sometimes, but Samsung even has an update here. I didn't do the May update yet. That's going to allow me to get a little bit better fingerprint recognition even. So they are working on it if it doesn't work as well with software updates. But having this at this price point for the Galaxy A70 is just a pretty cool feature nonetheless. Now, when it comes to software, it's very similar. It's the One UI. It's just like the Galaxy S10, S10 Plus. It doesn't have every single feature that it has, but still One UI 1.1, Android 9 Pie, So Samsung's getting a little more consistent with their phones, all looking very similar in the software, and this one is no different. So if you like the One UI and all its one-handed glory, you can bring things down and change the brightness right down here by your thumb, stuff like this, you're gonna love the One UI. If you like a lot of features, if we go to settings here, we go down to advanced features, they have plenty going on here. I mean, motions and gestures specifically has lift to wake, double tap to wake, smart stay, smart alert, easy mute, one-handed modes, palm swipe to capture, swipe to make calls and messages. The list goes on. This is still very packed even though it's a mid-ranger phone. It misses out on things like wireless power share, wireless charging, and edge screens are not on this phone. But other than that, it's got all your favorite Samsung features built right in. Now discussing performance, you can see here's a Geekbench score of a test I did earlier today. Not the most impressive, but not bad either, pretty middle of the road. But in performance, it's not the fastest, snappiest phone I've seen. Definitely not the fastest Samsung phone, but it's not slow. It definitely can do the job for most everyday users. I think if you're a heavy user, you might not want this one. But if you're just a casual user, you want a really nice smartphone, but you don't want to pay, $1,000 for a S10 Plus, S10 5G, stuff like that, this phone will definitely suffice you more than likely, as I found the performance to be pretty smooth and pretty good for the day-to-day, everyday usage. But I wouldn't use this for heavier, hardcore gaming, stuff like that. I would probably get a more premium phone for something like that. Even though this can run most games, I would probably still go up a level in processor and GPU for stuff like that. I would also like to mention that this is a dual SIM phone that also has micro SD card expansion, and it comes with 128 gigabytes. So this phone is definitely not messing around. In addition, it has fast charger included in the box, a case, a screen protector installed on the phone right out the box. Also in here, you have some headphones in this box as well. In addition, you would think for a phone like this, you're not going to get NFC, but nope, you get NFC on here as well. So Samsung Pay will be a breeze for this device. And talking about those cameras, now I just got the phone, so I don't have much time with these cameras, but what I can tell you so far is that the images remind me of the Galaxy S10, just a little bit less quality. So just imagine a Galaxy S10 photo, reduction in quality by like maybe I'd say about 25%. And that's a Galaxy A70 photo. In good lighting, you're gonna have really good photos. At nighttime, you're gonna get more noise than you would on a flagship phone, for example. But overall, I think you're gonna be fine with it. Now, in addition, this phone brings the ultra wide angle camera here for this phone, so the very fun feature. Now, you might be wondering, well, what is that third camera for? Well, that third camera is going to be a depth sensor, which is for portrait mode photography. Now, I don't really like depth sensors too much because they're not that useful to me. You don't really get to play around with it like a telephoto. It just kind of works in the background when you're taking a live focus photo. But if you do a lot of portraits, you'll like this phone. Overall, video shoots in 4K, and it doesn't do 4K 60. They cleverly left that out for the flagship phones. And the front camera only does 1080p recording on the front. So definitely that's another way that you lose out a little bit on this phone, but it is a 32 megapixel selfie camera, so maybe the selfies might look a little bit sharper, a little bit more detailed. Touring the battery section, you do have all your included power modes that you get on most Samsung phones: optimized, medium, and maximum. And the power on this phone is incredible. You have super fast charging included in the box, and you also get a 4500 milliamp hour battery. Combined with the fact that this doesn't have a 2K screen, the battery life on here has been excellent so far. I'm getting over 6 hours screen time with this thing so far. So really, if you like good battery life, mid-range phones typically offer really good battery life, and this one is no different. And one last thing I want to mention is reception has been excellent on this phone on T-Mobile's network, but I'm not able to get LTE. So if you want LTE, you might want to wait on the US launch of this phone, which is rumored to be coming soon. But the Galaxy A70 as a whole package, I think it nails it, and I could see why it's so popular of a budget style Samsung phone. I mean, it kind of gives you that flagship feel at a cheaper price, although the plastic feels cheaper and the camera's not quite up to par with some of the more premium phones. You wouldn't expect that. The beautiful display, the great battery life, and the software being just like the Galaxy S10 gives you that feeling of a really nice device. So overall, I do like the A70. That's my quick tour of the Galaxy A70. I will be doing a review on this phone, maybe a couple speed tests. Let me know what you want to see on this device. Did you already get an A70? What do you think of it so far? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, click the like button for me. Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to be well, and peace.